created? Is there life after death? Is there a heaven and a hell? Where am I going when I die? Big questions. Can't answer it for you. But I believe that there's a power above us. And I believe that that power wants me to be successful. Wants me to live a life that is abundant. It's about your relationship with God. It's about your relationship with other people. It's about your relationship with yourself. How many of you actually look in the mirror and say, I love you? You're going to be with me 24/7, 365 the rest of my life. I mean, really, I love you. I like the way your hair is combed. I like the way you smile. I love the color of your eyes. I love you. As a matter of fact, it says in Matthew 22:37 through 39, you shall not love the Lord God with all, you shall love the Lord God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind. Not some of your heart, not some of your soul, not some of your mind. That's the first commandment. Second is to love thy neighbor as thyself. You were and are designed for excellence. I just want to confirm that with you, because the chiropractic principles, and we're going back to chiropractic's birthday, okay? Chiropractic, unlike osteopathy, unlike medicine, chiropractic literally has an art, a science, and also a philosophy behind it. And the philosophy is that there is an intelligence within the universe, and an intelligence allows everything to happen and everything to exist. And everything that exists that's alive, this isn't alive, everything that's alive has an intelligence within it, and that intelligence is called innate intelligence. And that intelligence, that innate intelligence, causes your heart to beat, causes your lungs to take in the right amount of oxygen, causes your eyes to blink enough times so this way it's lubricated, causes your hair to grow, mine, like a Chinese kung fu guy. But we're all excellent. And the question is, because you're looking to reduce your stress, how do you define yourself as being excellent? Only you can answer that. And I hope tonight when you go home, when you leave here, or even when you're sitting here and thinking about it, you're creating your list of what your definition of excellence is. A good place to start is your car right now. If your car is the one outside that's the dirtiest, you need to clean it. Because that's part of you. If you have everything in your car but your kitchen sink, that's part of you. You're an excellent person. Your vehicle should be an excellent representation of you. Now, I'd like to share with you several ways that I reduce my stress. First one is stretch. I love to stretch, and you can expect to have workshops with me teaching you or leading stretching classes, because I love to stretch. And stretching, I believe, if we all stretched correctly, we wouldn't suffer from a lot of the ailments that we have, because we sit and we stand all day long, leaving our muscles tight and contracted. So stretching is a way of reducing stress. And I'm going to have to go through this list quickly to be responsible. Another way is to cry, and I love crying. I mean, I don't like to tell anybody that, but I love crying. I lost my mom after she cried so hard at my grandmother's funeral 2 weeks after. That was the hardest thing for me, one of the hardest things for me, events in my life for me to overcome. And for me, I've learned crying is healing. Crying reduces my stress. Actually, crying makes me feel good. Next, planned laughter, phoning a friend, getting a massage, hugs, 4, 8, 12. You probably wonder what those numbers are. Research has shown you need at least 4 hugs a day to be healthy. If you want greater hugs, greater health, Get 8 hugs a day. And if you want optimal health like us, what do you think? I'm like this after the adjustment. Even if my new patients don't want to hug me, I'm still like this. If my new patients don't want to hug me because they're not used to hugging, I'll do this. Sing, whistle, hum, read a good book. Take regular vacations, and please take regular vacations, because I encourage that, because when we go on vacation, I hope you encourage us going on vacation. Watch a movie, cervical tractioning, taking a long bath. I don't know about shower because we're in a water shortage, being in the beautiful part that God put us in Southern California. So take a bath. Take breaks at work after 40 minutes, meditate on the word, use positive affirmation the first thing in the morning, the last thing before you close your eyes. As a matter of fact, here's something that I've been practicing for the last 16 years that I've been a chiropractor, and I learned this when I was a student. Every time I leave the house, the last thing I tell my loved ones is something positive. The first thing I say to them is something positive. You ever been bombarded with something negative when you left somebody and it's kind of like, really? That's how I start the day? You ever been bombarded with something negative when you first get home? It's like, really? That's what I got to look forward to? Make it a point. You make that change. Don't wait for somebody else. You make that change. If you want to reduce your stress levels, you make that change. If you want to continue to be stressed, stay the same. High fives, you're the best statements, pats on the backs, motivational tests, tapes, CDs, downloads. I had to put down downloads because I remember 8 tracks, but not motivational 8 tracks. On your way to work, favorite music, stay away from bad news, bad newspaper, or negativity. Just cut that out, period. Because it's the same thing. It always ends up with police sirens and so forth. Watch the sunset, and we have beautiful sunsets here. We have beautiful sunsets here. I mean, it just sets down towards on the side of the mountains in Ventura. I mean, we have beautiful sunsets. Power naps, no more than 15 minutes. My time in which I take a power nap is at 2 o'clock. My entire family and friends, they know that at 2 o'clock, between 2:15, do not call me. Because I am not going to put my phone on airplane mode. I would rather educate you. And I'm not going to do it harshly. If you call me between that time and say, I'm taking a nap right now, can you please call me later? And then later I call them back and go, thanks for calling me now. I just want to let you know I love you, but between 2 and 2:15, that's my time. That's my time to recharge. So if you call me, please don't call me during that time. And then what happens then is they stop calling you. Spend quality time with your spouse, regular date nights, or with family, quality sleep by 10 p.m. That's another thing. We'll cover that in just a second. Use good posture, manicure, pedicure, facial makeovers, all of this to reduce stress, create a schedule and a life. We can cover that in just a second. Write a letter to a friend or your favorite chiropractor. Get adjusted for life until you die. Now, the next thing that I'd like to share. Any questions before I move on to time management? Good, thank you. You're allowing me to manage my time wisely. Good. So yes, ma'am.
Would you mind if I took?
Not at all, please. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much.
You're gonna miss out on a. Oh, okay, good. Can you please make sure Natalie gets one before she leaves?
Yes.
Good. All right, good. Time management. There is more to do in your lifetime than there is time to do it in. Now, if you do the math, which is very simple, we have 168 hours in a week. What I've done is that I've broken up my day into 3 intervals. So in a 24-hour period, I actually have 3 sessions. That's why if you ask me what day of the week it is, oftentimes I don't know what the day of the week is. I can tell you what time it is, but I don't know what the day of the week is. So with that said, to break down the interval number 1 is the time that you go to bed until the time that you arrive at work or school. That's the first interval. The second interval is the time you go to work until the time you get off of work or school. And the third interval is the time you leave work or school until the time you go to bed. So we'll break that down in just a little. But for most people, intervals 1 and 3 is more flexible than interval 2. Because oftentimes you're like me, you're in one location that entire time and you devote your time to that. Now, With interval 1, it's from the best time is from 10 p.m. to whatever time you go to work. So I'm going to use me as an example. From 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. That's interval 1. Interval 2 is from 7 a.m. to approximately 6 p.m. And then interval 3 for me is from 6 p.m. to approximately 10 p.m. to when I go back to bed. So can you see the 3 intervals? Thank you. So you can literally break your day down, your week down into 21 different intervals. Now, when we talk about life and work assignment, is complete your life schedule, put your life schedule categories into either of the 3 intervals. Now make sure you put time in there for eating. And you see here breakfast, lunch, and dinner. However, the best way to eat is to graze. Graze throughout the day. So this way you don't sit there and eat one big meal. And what was taught to us a long time ago with dinner is the biggest meal, that shouldn't be the biggest meal. Especially if you're in my scenario where you don't get home to 7. Because then you only have 1 hour for personal grooming and eating. Because then your digestive process and metabolism slows down. So then that's where you eat smaller. Now let me break it down a little bit more. Alright, so back here I talk about complete your lifestyle schedule. You gotta write down. Because if you're talking about time management, that's what we're talking about, right? Good. First off, can everybody do this? Because I know I'm falling asleep standing. By the way, I was military 6 years, I can fall asleep standing. Okay, so everybody do this. Place your hand, place it over your heart. And say, I'm important enough. I'm important enough. That's right. One more time. I'm important enough. Okay, good. So you put down what's important to you. For me, I love to bike. I love to skate. Dr. Shaw, please pray for him. He broke his scapula biking, but I don't think that's going to stop him. So I love to bike, I love to skate, I love to watch movies, I dedicate time to playing the piano. I'm teaching myself how to play the piano. Dinner dates, exercise, Bible time, family, church, fellowship, and workshop. If you add up that time, it comes out to 87 hours in the week. How many hours a week do we have? 168. That leaves me with 25 hours a week to still do more. Take a deep look at each interval. Where am I not utilizing my time wisely? What goals and desires do I have? If you've watched me, I stopped fighting at the age of 42, so I didn't need to carry around the extra weight. I've dropped about 50 pounds and I've kept it off because it wasn't serving me. So what's important to you? Lose 20 pounds, adjust 500 patients a day, get closer to God, better relationships. You need to find your big enough why and have faith and conviction and change it. Ask yourself, what interval would I like more time in? Then trade what's more important in terms